All right, so I'm going to get started. It is 8:01. So hi, I'm Amber from Influencer Updates on Instagram, and tonight I'm going to be updating you on Mitch Third, Sophie Guidolin, and Sarah Kearns. And then I'm going to be answering your questions live. So if you want to leave them in the comment box now, then I can answer them after the updates. So the first update. So this week, Mitch Third ruffled a few feathers. So Mitch is currently living in Dubai, but I believe he might be holidaying in Bali at the moment because he's been posting a few things from there. He is Australian though, and he used to date Talia Scaines. So they were together since high school and they dated for about 7 years, lived together, and yeah, they broke up a few years ago now. And he has recently mentioned that he has found God, and he's been posting quite a lot about that. He did have a business called Third Fix, which was drink bottles, like protein shaker bottles and drink bottles. And he has said on a podcast before that he sold that business, I think, for $900,000, which to me seems excessive. I mean, he could have just made that figure up. I don't know. I don't think he provided any sort of proof. But to me, $900,000 seems like a lot of money, but maybe that's how much businesses sell for these days. Not sure. And he currently has another business called Let's Go, and it is a pre-workout, but it's not fizzy. I think that's like the marketing point around it, is that it's not fizzy. And he's mentioned that he plans to sell that for over $1 million when it's all like ready for sale, I suppose. But anyway, that's a bit of background on him, just in case you don't know who he is. So this week he did a Q&A, and people were asking him, a female was asking him, do you think your messaging comes across too egocentric? I'm a female and I think half the stuff you say is amazing and the other half, and then like a sort of face. So in the past he has done Q&As and he's done like a lot of like fat shaming of people and just derogatory things towards women. I don't believe he thinks they're derogatory though. Like this is honestly, like, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of misogynistic people around, and it's reminding me of like Harrison Boone from Maths, and this was his answer. My messaging is to help men. So he's saying, I'm targeting men. You're not my target. I can't speak on behalf of women. Do all the spiritual things I say, as in like he talks about like meditation and cold plunges and all that. So do all the things I say when it comes to no days off, making money, being masculine, do the complete opposite. Sorry, I didn't read this before I have read it, and that doesn't even really make sense. More females need to step into their feminine energy. We need more stable households, not boss bitches. So that is what ruffled a few feathers. Like he's saying that women need to like be submissive and run a household. They need to not be out there like working for money kind of thing. And it's just so old fashioned, and I'm shocked that he would even think this. He has said that in the same Q&A that he doesn't believe, like he believes there's too many left-wing people out there, which is like a political sort of stance. And he wants to have a lot of children so that there's more right-wing people in the world. So he does have very controversial views. He also says here that he believes a female can be driven and disciplined whilst being in their feminine energy. However, the reason behind why you are driven and disciplined is the question you need to ask yourself. Money is a masculine energy, so any females driven to make money is actually masculine. Wow. And then he goes on about like you need to be prioritizing self-care, nurturing relationships, trying your best to be loving and caring. Females' superpowers is their intuition. Oh my gosh, it just keeps going. Ask yourself what you're posting on Instagram. There can be a harmonious blend that allows you to maintain your drive and ambition whilst radiating a feminine confidence and grace in all aspects of your life. The more females embody this, the more men will up their value. So now we're responsible for men not upping their value as well. Anyway, I just want to make a statement to Mitch Third. Mitch Third, I am married with 2 children and I work, and that's okay. That's the 2024 woman these days. Like it doesn't make you any more or less of a man or a woman. I just don't even understand this. But anyway, sorry, I need to stop going on about this. It's been 5 minutes. So that is the controversial take from Mitch Third. I used to have a real soft spot for him. I really liked his entrepreneur sort of style, but now I'm just a bit confused And I'm going to keep following him though, because I find this sort of stuff very interesting. Second update for the week is Sophie Guidolin. So she's been doing YouTube videos recently. She started a new YouTube series where she's posting one video a week. They're just like 5-minute videos. They're very scripted. They feature her children a lot. I think it's like this sort of new angle she's trying to take. And she released a teaser last night of her episode 3 of her YouTube series. She hasn't released the video yet in full. But anyway, in the teaser, she's been telling us in the last few days on Instagram that she's been in hospital, but she never tells us why. Like, she's always in and out of hospital and won't tell us why. And in this teaser, she showed that she has just had her breast implants removed because they have burst and seeped through her body. And she was holding the breast implant and like squeezing it. It was all leaking out. I think that's the exact implant that was removed from her body, which was kind of interesting. And in the video, there was a knock on the door. And again, this all seemed very scripted. There was a knock on the door and she's like, oh, who's here? I've literally just got home from hospital. And then this man walks in and hands her some flowers, and you can see like his hand like this, and he's got like tattoos all up it. And then the flowers are here and it looks like they're kissing behind the flowers. So I assume she has a new boyfriend. It very much gave the impression that she has a new boyfriend, and I'm very excited to see who this is. This is the first boyfriend she's gone public with since she divorced her husband Andrew, and she's been saying a lot, like right up until just probably a week or two ago, that she's single, very much single sort of thing, and she spends a lot of time with her ex-husband Nathan, who is the father of her twins. And yeah, I mean, looks like we're going to see a hard launch from Sophie in her new YouTube video, and I'm very excited for that. I haven't heard any tips as to who it might be. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to watch this space. Third update for the week is Sarah Kearns. So Sarah Kearns is half of the Facebook duo Dad Mum. So her husband Brad Kearns and they have this Dad Mum Facebook group that has a huge following. They've had a following for a very long time, from back when Facebook was a very popular thing. And they have 3 children. And Sarah Kearns used to be a policewoman, and apparently she worked in an area where they dealt with like child crime and stuff. So she very much understands like children being in the media, whatever. And anyway, she has been showing her children, like they're not young. This is a photo of them, if you can see that just there. It's a bit tricky because it's a really old smashed iPhone. So she's said now, it's starting to feel icky having our kids on our profiles. It's felt this way for a while now, and I no longer discuss the kids' personal issues. We feature them less and less. We ask their permission before posting any of their images. Blah, 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 blah. Brad has stopped sharing them almost altogether. It just hasn't felt as fun or safe. So she goes on to explain that, yeah, basically she's not going to be showing her children on social media anymore. I think that this is the start of a trend that we're going to be seeing a lot. Sophie Cachia, she recently mentioned on a podcast interview with Indy Clinton that she is showing her children a lot less. She always asks them if they want to be on social media. She says that she actually gets a lot of job offers for them, like brands will message her saying, you know, you and your kids, can you promote this? And she will ask them if they want to do it. So yeah, I think that it's definitely becoming a bigger topic. Like a lot of people are saying about the exploitation of children in the media, and yeah, a lot of influencers seem to be listening, and they're wanting to step back and take their children out of that media circus. I found it interesting in the Sophie Cachia and Indy Clinton interview. Indy did mention that she hates when people say she's exploiting her children by showing them online. And she did make a good point. She said, like, there are children out there genuinely being exploited, and they're the ones that need to be focused on, not Indy posting her children on social media. But I get that the term exploit does cover a very big variety, and there is obviously much worse forms of exploitation. But yeah, I think that it definitely is a form of exploiting your children, is showing them on social media for money, essentially. But yeah, I think that that's really interesting that Sarah has done that. She did end the big paragraph with, I may change my mind. Things may feel right to share again in the future. There's no guidebook to follow here. And I think that's a really good point. There is no guidebook. We don't know what the future is going to hold for these children who have spent a lot of their time growing up on social media. It will be interesting to see. And yeah, she's spoken about, their digital footprint, and she's just going to do what feels right day to day. So yeah, I think that a lot of people will think that this is a really good move on her behalf. I'm now going to go through everybody's questions. Thank you everybody for leaving questions. I've been seeing so many come through. First one, do influencers hate you? I don't know, probably some do, probably some don't. I really want to go to the Ashy Bines event. It's coming to Melbourne soon, April, like in a week or two, I think. And I was going to buy a ticket, but I don't want to go alone. And I don't know if I feel like if I showed up, I don't know if she would hate me. Like, she probably doesn't even know who I am, honestly. Matt and Tammy, what's going on? What info has been confirmed? Okay, what is going on with Matt and Tammy? So I guess the latest is that Tammy is no longer showing Matt on her social media. I think that that is probably in response to the fact that they've had to defend their relationship every single day since they met, which was only 6 months ago. So it would be very draining though, having to defend it every single day. She's copying so many comments about her children, this is going to affect your children, that men are coming in and out. Like, it would be so draining and so annoying. And I think that now that there has been this incident, I suppose, where Matt has been caught texting or Instagram DMing another woman in a bikini, asking if she has a boyfriend, I think that she is just like, right, I don't want to be getting hate about this. Like, we need to sort this out privately. And she's just stopped posting him on social media. She was hiking recently with her children and somebody, we didn't know who, but like somebody was taking the photos, I suppose, unless she was using timer. And then Matt ended up posting a few hours later a picture of like the waterfall that looked very much like the waterfall Tammy was at. So he's very much still around, but it seems that they are going quiet on social media. Oh, also he did his podcast on a few days ago. He released a new episode and he mentioned that spending Easter with his new family was the best thing about Easter, and him and Tammy are going to Japan in May, I think he said, maybe June, July, May, I don't know. They're going to Japan soon. And then he was talking about Christmas this year, so they are very much still together. Don't need to worry about that. All right. I'm going to a Beyonce listening party for her new album tomorrow. Can't wait. That's really fun. Wonder where that would be. I went to her movie, like the Renaissance concert movie, and that was really fun. But I do wish it had a lot more old songs. I like her old music better than her new music. Someone had fish and chips minus the fish, so they had chips for dinner. Okay, Sophie Guidolin has posted about being single so much in the last few months, and she has just launched a new boyfriend. This is what I was saying in my update. It's crazy. Like, I feel like a week ago she was saying that she's very much single, and now she has a new boyfriend. So I think that she's somebody kind of like Tammy who falls hard and fast. So, hopefully it works out for her. What else have we got here? There's a lot of people talking about Mitch Third. Someone's saying that him and Reece Hawkins are friends. I suppose they're both in Bali. Maybe they caught up while they're in Bali. Sorry, I've accidentally just scrolled to the bottom of the comments, so I'll just catch up. Okay, I've caught up. People are asking about MAFS, but no, I haven't watched MAFS. I just haven't. I've been watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here though. And yes, I'm loving it. Watching a few days ago the glass platform, how they had to like go down and get the flags. Sky was in it, and I just couldn't even breathe watching it. It just looked so scary, and they all did so good on it. Mitch Third stories were foul. Yeah, it's just really sad, I think, that there's men out there who just, to me, it feels disrespectful to women. And I'm sure he would counter argue that and say that he doesn't disrespect women, but that's how it seems to me. Someone's saying here that he wants Nara Smith. Nara Smith is a famous TikToker who just cooks and cleans and everything is perfect all the time. Any info on Sam Rayner's breakup? I have received a little pointer, I don't know, a little bit of gossip, I suppose, that legally they got married to keep her in the country. That is not verified, but that is what I heard. But they have broken up now. Sam Rayner has broken up with her husband or fiance, Wires Only. R.D. Whittington is his name. And yeah, well, they've broken up. It's obvious she's not wearing her ring anymore. She came back to Australia. He was selling her car for $499,000 US dollars, by the way. He's mega rich, but she has gone back to LA recently, so who knows if they're getting back together, or maybe she was just going back over there to like finish off some work or something. Not sure, but yes, that is probably the update on the breakup I have, is that I believe that they were legally married. Oh, someone's saying here that with Sophie Guidolin's explant update, how she was showing the implant leaking, the amount of silicone leaking out scared me because that's not meant to be possible. It's like she melted them. Well, I mean, she was squeezing them pretty hard, and she was showing it leaking out, which means it wasn't leaking out in her body. So maybe she sort of like squeezed it extra hard just for like the visual effect of the video. I would say it was a slow leak inside her body, but you still don't want anything leaking. And yeah, I have heard of it happening before. Someone's saying here, aren't her implants the ones that she had removed 7 years ago? She has showed them before. I believe she has had multiple breast augmentation operations, whether that be implants, explants, swaps. I don't know what she's had, but she has had a lot over the years. And she has had a lot of operations lately where she's wearing compression bras, but she says she's not going to say what her operation was. So we're not really sure what her situation is there. Keeping up with Aussie influencers, they're writing here that Sophie says, "Stop talking about my relationship, guys. I'm a private person." And then in the next post, she's like scripting a YouTube video with a new guy knocking at the door. I love it. I love it. She knows exactly what to do to keep us all hooked. She's very, very clever. Mia Freedman said today that she interviewed Tammy Hembrow for No Filter, and the episode is going to be released on Monday. Oh, okay, that'll be interesting. I find that Tammy is very articulate, I suppose, with what she says on these things. Like, she never like drops a bomb or anything. And same with her book. I can't imagine there's going to be anything that we're like, oh my gosh. Like Sophie Cachia's book, every chapter I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like there was so many bombs dropped. It was so juicy. But Tammy is not going to be doing that, I don't imagine. She never has been like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the interview. Sarah Kearns will still use her kids for ads though. I don't believe she said that in her little spiel. No, she hasn't said that in her spiel, but she also says that she's archived a lot of their photos already. But yeah, I guess maybe as they get older, they might want to be used for ads to like get an income. I'm not sure, but I guess Sarah has said herself that there's no guidebook for this, and I agree. Like, she can change her mind anytime and just do what she thinks feels right. But I do think that regardless, it's a positive step. Just looking for more questions. There's lots of like commentary around topics that we've spoken about already. Lots of people are really happy about Sarah not going to be showing her children on social media anymore, and think a lot of other influencers should do the same. I find it weird that Aussie mum vlogger complains her daughter is being bullied, yet posts videos of them pushing her in a pram. She's in grade 1 or 2, and her sleeping in the same bed as her brother. I don't know. I mean, it depends what her daughter is bullied about. And also, like, with bullying, it's not the victim's fault. I feel like, I don't know, I've seen this pram thing come up quite a bit, that the daughter's in grade 1 or 2 and is still pushed in a pram sometimes. And Kiara has mentioned, like, if she's going to go for a huge walk, she's going to put her children in a pram because she wants to like be walking fast and she wants to walk a long way, and her children are not capable of that. which I think that just seems responsible. I also think it's a lot safer than like crossing the road all the time with them. I don't know, I don't have a child that age, but my 3-year-old, I still put her in a pram quite often, and you don't see many 3-year-olds in prams either, actually. And sleeping in the same bed as her brother, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that it's awful if grade 1 and 2 children are bullying another child about that. Like, why do they care? Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre that children would bully another child about any of that. But yeah, it does suck that it's so public that people can just get this ammunition on this poor girl. What is your opinion on the Inspired Unemployed incident at the feminist event this week? So the Inspired Unemployed, I absolutely love their TV show. It's called, what's it called? I just call it the Inspired Unemployed. Impractical Jokers is what it's called. And it is the funniest show. If you haven't seen it, it is on 10 Play, I think it is. And the first episode, I was in tears. Like, it is so, so funny. And most of the time it's harmless. It's just like, you know, funny pranks. But there was an event this week, if you haven't heard, with like Yumi Steins and Clem Ford and somebody else on the panel. There were 3 like very influential feminist women on the panel, and it was a free event, and people came along to the event, and they were told there's going to be a special guest, a male, giving a young male's perspective on feminist topics, I suppose. And they were told that the event was being recorded. Anyway, Jack Steele from the Inspired Unemployed shows up as a special guest, and he has an earpiece in, and he's being fed lines that he has to say to prank these people. Apparently the hosts knew that this was all a big prank. And anyway, they were saying, you know, what's your opinion on consent? And he would say, oh, well, you know, consent's really important for women. And people are like, what? Like, it should be important for men too. And, you know, the people who are feeding this into him are like trying to stir up the audience. But anyway, I heard that a lot of the audience members actually got so offended that they got up and left the event early. And yeah, others were just like, you know, this was really uncomfortable to watch, and why would you allow this man to prank us all and say this at your event? So there's been a lot of pushback to the hosts of why they allowed it. I agree, like, I'm not sure why they allowed it. It seems very against their whole message. Did they get paid for it? Like, what was the benefit to them in allowing it? Was it for a marketing purpose? I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know, because I get the show, and I think that it's going to be, like, now that we know the truth, it's going to be so funny to watch. But at the same time, those people are very offended, and I can see why they're very unhappy that they were part of a prank that they didn't consent to. There's pros and cons, I suppose. Well, not pros and cons, but yeah, I can see multiple sides of the story, as always. What happened to your sister's skincare brand? So that still exists. Tribe Skincare still exists, but my sister sold that to an Australian company in August last year. So she has a baby now, and that is her focus. And also this company owns brands in supermarkets and that distribute internationally, and that's the point of this brand. Like, they have the capacity to expand the Tribe Skincare brand. And yeah, that's their plan long term. They haven't done that yet, but that is their plan. What else? Influencers need to just marry normal people who aren't in the spotlight. I feel like that is so true, but it often changes. Like, I find influencers a lot of the time, they'll meet somebody who's a nobody, but then once that person gets a little bit of a taste for fame and realizes they can make money off the back of their partner's fame, they suddenly want this profile. That's what seems to happen. Yeah, it's a bit strange. But then there's people like Sophie Guidolin. She's been dating her boyfriend over a year, and he still is not on her social media or anything. And I think that is such a good idea on her behalf. I think it's good that she's showing him a little bit, because it keeps us all intrigued. Like Olivia Molly Rogers, she never, ever, ever shows who she's dating anymore. And I don't really follow her stuff anymore. Like, I want to know who she's dating, and I just wish she'd give us like a little bit. Give us a hand. Give us a holiday vlog without him in it. That's what Sophie does. Like, she went to New Zealand with this boyfriend, and she still vlogged the whole thing and just didn't show him. And yeah, I really like the way she does it. Mm-hmm. Do you think Paulie has flopped since the hype went down and there's a lot of negative reviews? No, I don't. I think that any brand though like that is going to have like its peak at the start and then it's going to die down a bit. But I think that Anna Paul has been consistently releasing new products. I feel like she doesn't talk about it enough. I get that she doesn't want to like sell it to people and be like pushy with it, but I honestly forget that she has a skincare brand because you really don't hear about it much. But I think that in terms of other, like most skincare brands, I think that it's probably still selling a lot of products. Oh, someone's saying here that Sky Wheatley from I'm a Celebrity is a national treasure. Candace needs to just go away quietly. Interestingly, I was saying to my husband tonight that I was disappointed when I saw Candace Warner was on I'm a Celebrity because she was on SAS and I'm like, oh, I've already seen her. Like, I don't need to know more about her. But I'm really enjoying her on it. She is so good. She's so fit. Like, her mental strength is so, so good with the challenges. She's really encouraging of other people. Like, she knows how to, like, get them doing their best. Like, I am really enjoying her on it. But I can see that people wouldn't like that she's so, like, you know, firm with everything and this is how it's got to be, and she's sort of not on board with like taking other opinions into account. But yeah, I really like her on it. Someone's saying here that Mitch Third probably doesn't hate women, but he definitely doesn't see them as the same level of human as he views men. That's a very good take. I reckon that's probably true. Do you recognise names in here who show up every/most of your weekly IG lives? No, I don't. Because I'm reading the comments so fast while I'm doing this and I don't get to access the comments after it's over. I do not get a chance to read the names, but in my DMs, I definitely know who I like talk to a lot. And yeah, if you ever want to DM me anything, like a question I don't answer, I would love to talk to you about it because that's how I learn a lot of the stuff that I know. So definitely DM me anytime. What outfit trends do you think we will see at Coachella this year? Honestly, I'm not good at fashion at all. This is just a Kmart t-shirt. I wish that I was into fashion, but I'm just not. I like looking at it on people, but I'm not one to Google where their outfit's from or anything. So sorry, I'm not one to tell you what the trends might be at Coachella, but I'll very much like looking at the pictures. Oh gosh, sorry. It's just lots of questions this week. Unlike Rebel Wilson's book, which is not released in Australia, very weird. Yeah, so Rebel Wilson's book, Rebel Rising, was meant to come out in Australia, I think today or yesterday or something, and they've pulled it from release. So there's rumours that Sacha Baron Cohen, who is otherwise known as Borat, the character Borat, I think that he's trying to get the book pulled because he's mentioned in there as doing some horrible things. So yeah, I'm not sure if maybe he's been successful in that, but she hasn't spoken about why it's been pulled from release. But I really want to read the book. It sounds like she's putting some pretty juicy things in there. Oh, someone's saying here that Sarah Kearns always says she's taken the kids offline and then they come back for ads. That's interesting. Oh, Sophie's new man is Nicholas White. I'm screenshotting that and I'm going to investigate after this. I'll put my investigations on subscribers. We'll be going to the live shows of Mia Freedman with Outlouders. So probably not. I did look at the price of the show and it's just so expensive. It was over $100 a ticket. I think it was $140 a ticket. And I mean, I think that's why it didn't sell out. Oh gosh, sorry. These things used to sell out instantly, and I think that people just can't justify spending that sort of money on things at the moment. Did any Melbourne influencers catch up or work with Bethany Frankel on her recent visits? Not that I know of. The only thing I know of is Dominica Calarco was talking about how there were empty seats and that lots of influencers were given tickets for free, and she seemed kind of annoyed because she'd paid $400 for a ticket. And I mean, the overall opinion on that was, well, yeah, that's how we feel when you get things for free all the time. Sorry. Snejana Wood just announced her own biography called Untold. What the Why would anyone read that? Don't know. I don't imagine I would be very interested in Snejana Wood's biography. Not sure. There's a lot of influencers releasing biographies though. I don't know. I'll have to see what the reviews are like if I'm going to read that one. But yeah, I mean, she must have a good story. Otherwise a publisher wouldn't want to publish her book, would they? Might just screenshot that one as well. Okay. Oh, someone's saying here that Clem Ford has not addressed the Inspired Unemployed event. She is posting Gaza awareness. I think that is an interesting thing because she would know there's a lot of eyes on her profile at the moment. So I think that's good that she's using that rather than for self-promotion. She's using that to raise awareness of an international issue. I think that's a really good move. Are you scared of exposing Sophie? No, I'm not scared of exposing Sophie. I just don't like to speculate. And when people have horrible speculations that aren't proven, there's just no need for me to repeat those things. I get asked this every week, and that's just my answer tonight. Amy Hembrow and Emilee Hembrow seem to be doing great in their marriages. That's a really cute comment. I like that. I think Emilee Hembrow has Islam as a foundation in her marriage, and Amy has been with her partner for years. Yeah, I've noticed Emilee Hembrow is doing like Ramadan, and she's been doing like the fancy dinners every night, and she looks like a very Mitch Third feminine energy kind of girl. But also she is a boss babe because she has multiple businesses, so maybe she's not Mitch Third's kind of girl after all. How many influencers do you think are watching now from fake accounts? Probably none. I mean, I post this to YouTube afterwards anyway, so if they want to, they can watch it on there anonymously. And sometimes they definitely do because they message me about it afterwards. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on everything, but there's quite a lot tonight again. It's really picked up. Same with last week. Madison Woolley bought her first apartment in Sydney. Do you think it's over $1 million? I have not seen that. I need to find out. I mean, I don't want to find out her address, but I want to find out what the apartment's like. That is so exciting. Interesting. I've got a lot to look up tonight. I'm so behind, it seems. Okay, updates with the outspoken hikes and their pregnancies. I'm not sure what the hikes is, but my speculation with, which one is it? Kate. I think it's Kate who's pregnant. Is it Kate who's pregnant? And she was saying that her son her future son is going to have a very traditional name, and his name is from a fairy tale, I think she said. 100% his name's going to be Jack. That's what my money's on. His name's going to be Jack, in my opinion. What skincare do you use? Thank you. I did post a few days ago what skincare I use. I mostly use Tribe Skincare, which my sister used to own. And I also use like the Goldie Bee Anna McAvoy face tan. And I also use Natio SPF 50. Someone's asking here again about Tammy and Matt. So I did answer that earlier, but yes, they are very much still engaged and together. Is Cassidy from Love Island still around? Yes. So she was recently on someone's podcast. Who was it? I was flicking through like the new podcasts and she was interviewed by someone and I thought, oh, she's still around. So yeah, she very much is. She also has her own podcast that used to be called The Handbags, which was Josh Moss and Martha's husband, is it? Anyway, so Cassidy is now doing the podcast with Josh Moss, but yes, she is still around. Oh, my sister. She's saying that she thinks that Kate from Outspoken, her baby's name will be Eric. I'll have to talk to her about that afterwards. You should do a subscriber only live stream. Yeah, I definitely think I should. I need to get onto that. Oh, someone's saying here that Cassidy was on Olivia Rogers' podcast. How many subscribers do you have now? So I have over 2,500. I'll just say it. I'll say it. Which is fantastic because obviously that means it's financially sustainable for me to keep doing this as a job, and I absolutely love doing this as a job and I find it so much fun, and obviously 2,500 people really like hearing updates on Aussie influencers, and that is so cool. Miss Kyrie loves dog. Where has it gone and did she get rid of him? So I did post on subscribers tonight that, yeah, it does appear that Miss Kyrie loves, she has rehomed her dog that she got in August last year. So she's just completely like deleted every photo of him from her Facebook. His name was Socks. She's, yeah, deleted every single photo and just stopped talking about him. So that is really sad. Already, like, people are messaging me saying, oh, this is horrible that she's done this. But the thing is, like, I get that it's horrible, but she wouldn't have wanted to rehome her dog. I know so many people that have rehomed their dogs, like so many people, especially when they have children. It's very common, and it's a very emotional time for everybody, and it's obviously not the right thing to do, but also people don't take the decision lightly, and I'm sure they think that it is the right thing to do for both the dog and for themselves. So yeah, let's just hope that the dog has gone to a new loving home. And yeah, I'll just end on that. So sorry, it seems a bit negative. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, and I will post this to YouTube. And if I didn't answer your question, please DM me and we'll talk soon. Thank you. Bye.